Jewel Effect. We are here at Tree Sound Studio in Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, I'm really excited because I've been looking forward to this for probably a little over a month or 6 weeks. I've been looking forward to coming to Atlanta. So we're here with a really special guest. Okay? He's referred to us by someone who's already been on the Jewel Effect. He's a well-rounded talent. So he's a producer, he's a songwriter, he's an artist as well. He got a lot going on, and a lot's been happening really fast for him within, what, the past few years?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's worked with, like, legendary artists. I won't say everybody, but one of my personal favorites, the legendary Brandy. He's done work with Wiz Khalifa and Summer Walker and SZA and Cardi B, right? No Love? That was my song. I used to, like, I'd be driving in the car, still, like, I don't know, but I'm not gonna start. But I'd like to welcome you to the Jewel Effect, Sir Charles.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Yay! So we're gonna start it out. We're gonna party. We're gonna, like, have an interview.
Absolutely.
We're gonna have a conversation. But it's your birthday.
Absolutely.
So I want to say right now, thank you for the opportunity and your time on your birthday.
Thank you.
This is a big deal for me. I don't know if it's a big deal for you, but it's a big deal for me.
I mean, yeah, me too, because it's like, I'm the type of person that always wanted to do something productive, like the partying and the going out smoking, drinking, clubbing, all that shit. It's like I've done it to the fullest extent. So now my outlook on life is just, how can I make myself better every day? I wake up every day thinking, like, damn, like, how can I go harder than what I did last month or the day before to make myself, like, the perfect individual in my mind so I can do what I do at a high level. So
You on your way. You are on your way. So I want to hop right into it.
yeah, let's do it.
So we'll go from, like, now and then work our way back and then.
Okay.
How that sound? That's good?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. So you just signed a deal, right? You just signed a publishing deal. So let's talk about that. So it's Island Prolific or Ultra Public. So tell me more about that.
So Island Prolific is like my publishing partner. I mean, so you know, we pretty much on the forefront, and Ultra is the major entity behind us that, you know, gave us the bag and gave us that financial security for us to go out here and be great and do what we do. Okay,
so what does that entail? Like, what does that mean now that you're, like, you signed this deal?
It just means that, you know, everything I'm doing from this point out, even though I've been doing it already prior, just expected to be at the highest level.
Ooh.
The highest quality. I really gotta, you know, I gotta recoup this money. So it's just like, everything I do has to be just super intentional. And just make sure I put my best foot forward because I'm a brand, so I got to represent myself at the highest level when it comes to music, and you know, that's how I represent myself. So yeah, it's pretty much just being solidified in the sense like, all right, this is for real now. You know, it's always been for real, but like when you got the money and the people and the momentum and the steam and the connections, make a call for y'all got this record for XYZ, push it through. It really makes a difference. So. I'm happy to be on this side and really show the world what I'm capable of for real at the highest level.
Yeah, you talked about being intentional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Leading up to this, do you think the way that you've been moving, like, intentionally has led you here, or like?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, for every creative out there, like, patience is the #1 thing that I've learned over the past 5 years. Just making a transition, like, being just out there, like, just trying to get money or doing certain things that I wouldn't be doing now because I'm blessed to be in the situation I'm in, but it's like learning patience and just discipline.
Oh, discipline.
Like, I mean, like, I didn't come from, like, the roughest of the roughest, but, I mean, how I grew up, shit wasn't, like, really sweet like that. So it's been, like, a lot of outside influences, kind of had to just grow up kind of, like, by myself in a sense, where, like, you know, Mom Duke's working, holding it down, all that shit. So it's like, you know, when Mom's at work late night, like, what am I doing? I mean, out in the streets or just wilding out. Like, I really turned my life around on some other shit. And I feel like music was the one thing that kind of, like opened my eyes. Like, yo, like, man, you can't be in the streets all your life. You can't be out here in the clubs. You can't be doing X, Y, Z. Like, this is something that if I pour my all into it, it'll reward me.
So when did you start to like get really serious and really intentional about like your work? Because how long have you been into music? Has it been since
I mean, music's been like, yeah, I love music like my whole life. Like, I grew up in the church, you feel me? So like, I grew up like Seventh-day Adventist. And then my godmother was Baptist. So like, I would have to go to church on Saturdays and Sundays growing up. So it was like, it was a part of my life as a child, like, where I feel like that joy of like wanting to go out on weekends and all that, sleepovers with your friends, I was kind of like deprived from that for a certain amount of years. So it really focused me just to, can't watch TV on Saturdays to the sun up to the sundown. So I'm listening to music, I'm reading books, I'm just studying, just like learning to integrate myself with other things outside of the typical video games, music, all that. So like as a kid, like just listening to like Take Six and Kenny G and like what my grandparents would play. I kind of, right, exactly, like, you feel me? So I kind of like grooved myself into it at a young age without even realizing like what it would translate to today. So.
Do you play any instruments?
Nah, actually I don't. I just always had an ear. Like even like when it comes to production, like with samples and sounds, like I'm just great with putting sounds together. So I just feel like I know what sounds good and like what it translates. Like even like before I get in a session with an artist, I might sit down and do like 10, 20 ideas. Like I'll know like, okay, this would sound great for a baby Tate, or this would sound good for Prince Charles, or this would sound good for just whoever I'm working with at the time, you feel me? So it's like, I really take pride in, because the fact that I don't play any instruments, I take the pride in really sonically just like knowing like what would fit with certain counterparts. But I'm blessed to have certain individuals who I work with that do play, and I can call in a pianist or somebody play some horns, or I'll just put the sounds together, have them play on top of it.
Who are some of those people that you've been working with that kind of like pitch in and has the ability to play the instrument?
Well, my one good friend, his name was Kenneth Pario, KP. He's a crazy classical pianist. We've been working real tight together. My engineer, Slice, you know, he's an engineer for like Young Thug and Future, everybody in Atlanta you can think of. And my bro, Prince Charles, who's the reason why I'm even here in Atlanta today. I mean, who kind of orchestrated my move down here. Is just having those integral parts that really help me bring everything together. So it's like when we're doing these songs and these records. Because people don't realize, man, like making beats is one thing. It's one thing. But like actually putting songs together that translate that an artist or a major label wants to put a backing behind or push through for the artist is two totally different worlds. And as a creative, it's like certain things are out of our control. Like you can make the best music in the world, but if you don't got the right person to really push that button on it or push it through or play it for X, Y, Z, then it's kind of like, you know, you lost the sauce.
Right.
So I'm just very grateful that I have all the resources available for me to be the best version of myself right now.
Right. So you talked about like if it weren't for Prince Charles, you wouldn't be in Atlanta. So how long have you been here? And he's from Jersey, by the way. I just want to put that out there. Jersey. So
yeah, South Jersey too. So
South like, Jersey, 609.
Yeah,
right?
609. Yep. Yeah. And I feel like it's one thing about South Jersey, like it's just something in the water where like certain ones of us really make it out and do a lot of big things. Like my area, like the Atlantic City area, grew up in Galloway. It's like Rodney Jerkins, like the biggest thing in the world. Yeah. Like I literally used to be in high school, like hopping on the bus. The 508 bus that goes to the Hamilton Mall and we'll see this nigga at a traffic light in a fucking Bentley and shit. I'm just like, damn. Like, nigga, I gotta get that one day. Yeah. Didn't know how, but like, yo, like, I need that.
And I think when you're like placed in certain positions or you see certain people, you like, it's kind of like you're destined to, you're like setting those positions to see them in order to inspire you to be who you are going to be in the future. You know what I mean?
No,
like it's so many people that would have never experienced seeing Rodney Jerkins riding up. You know what I mean? And it's certain people who I've seen where it's like, wow, I'm this close, or I've seen this or that, you know?
Right.
And it's like I'm 1 degree away. You know, it's like 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's never 6 degrees with me. So I don't know if it is for you, but it's always like 1 degree.
No, absolutely. I've always felt like that, just especially being in certain spaces I've been privileged to be in. It's just, yeah, man, life is just weird, man, because it's like, it's all about like being at the right place at the right time, opening your mouth, letting people know what you do. Because I feel like a lot of people mess up opportunity because they don't know how to like conduct themselves in a room with certain people, or don't know like, okay, what's the angle I can go to holler at this person without seeming too thirsty? Because everything is just so fickle right now, man. So I was like, you really gotta just like watch how you move, man. Because one wrong move in this industry can get you out of here.
So how do you think, like, what do you think you've done right to navigate your way into like these rooms, or?
I just feel like just kind of just like being an asset. I mean, in whatever way possible. No matter if it was like, yo, y'all need someone to go to the store, I'll go to the store.
Okay.
Yo, like, you need a line, yo, the temperature cool. Yo, you got a runner outside, like, let me go get your food. Like, that's kind of how it started in a sense where, like, I was just around certain people. So it was like, yo, let me not be too anything. Let me stay off my phone, let me post. Let me just soak in the vibe and then let people feel my energy. So that'd be more open for them to want to collab creatively, in a sense, if that makes sense.
Right. No, it makes a lot of sense. I've heard that before.
Right.
So,
and then I got lucky, like, you know, a friend of mine at the time, who I kind of got a jump start with, was another Jersey producer as well. I mean, we were rocking out, and it was like I just brought a essence to him that he necessarily didn't always have, or like a vibe that would help him just be more creative. I mean, so like a lot of producers like when a rapper sing, but sometimes they don't really know like the right pocket, or just don't know how to really exhibit it the right way. So having somebody like me around, it's like, yo, I got a flow for that. I got a melody for that. So like we kind of just meshed like that, and then that's how I ended up going out to LA and just, you know, everything unfolding from there. Yeah. Pretty much.
So we in ATL right now. Right. What's life been like since you've been here?
Man, life in Atlanta's been great. I gotta lay off the chicken wings. That's for sure.
What's the spot? 'Cause we need to know. We need to eat while we're here.
Listen,
I
got you.
Sunday.
Yeah. I'll tell you off camera because I'm not getting paid for any endorsements.
Okay, I hear that.
I mean,
Me either. Me either. Right. So yeah, let us know. But yeah.
But Atlanta's been dope, man. It's like, I know, I feel like coming here, especially like I came here like right when the pandemic like was about to kick off, and I got nominated for my first Grammy. So it was kind of like. It's kind of crazy, man, because I moved here, get an apartment, then I got to go out to LA for like Grammy week and doing a bunch of camps and sessions. And then when I get back, it's like we in a pandemic.
Was that for Love Again?
Yes, okay. Love Again with
Brandy and Daniel Caesar. Yeah, okay.
Yep. So it was weird, man, because it really forced me to, like, damn, I'm in a great situation, but then everything kind of just slowed up. So that really forced me to really retrace my steps and see, okay, like, I'm here. What can I do to really like position myself? Being like, not being from here, but like having a lot of like great connections. Like my manager, Sammy Scott, you know, she's been a gem to me to the fullest, and she really helped me out with a lot, man. So just, I feel like having the right people in your life and situation really makes all the difference. Because I've come across so many talented people over the years, and they just don't have the right business acumen, the right people in their corner, the right frame of mind to really prosper, man. Because what I've realized, like a lot of people are like, yo, man, I need this. I need a manager. I need this. I want that. But it's like, yo, like, what are you doing to position yourself so that energy can be reciprocated to you? Right. I mean, like people kind of read what's going on with you, man. Like if you're in an effed up situation, it's kind of like, and that's on the forefront. You on social media post, oh, today was the worst. I got into it with the mailman or whatever. Yeah. It's like people don't want to be around bad energy because everybody has a life of their own. Everybody's got problems. A lot of people have kids. I don't have kids yet, but hopefully next couple of years. But it's like everybody's got a sick relative, a sick mom, dad, bills. Like we all got that. So it's like, what are you going to do to separate that and really get to it and just thug it out? I mean, that's what life comes to. Like certain people use excuses to kind of hold them back. And I've always been the type, like, I know where I've been and I know where I can go. So like these minor things that everybody deals with, there's billions of people on planet Earth, bro. So it's like millions of people have these same problems. So it's like, you're going to complain about it and just shut down mentally, or you're going to use it to fuel yourself and be like, you know what? After I work these 8 hours, I'm going to go pour myself into something that I really care about. Right.
So this is where like discipline comes in.
Absolutely.
Right? So how would you say, even when things start to slow down, you're like, all right, where do I fit in? Like, how would you describe the type of discipline that you had in order to like keep things like flowing, keep the momentum going?
Man, really it's just understanding what it is and what it can be. And I feel like I've had a plethora of, you know, life-altering experiences that kind of brought me to the point where, like, yo, either you're going to be around the dudes that's getting it, or you're going to be one of them dudes that's getting it. Mm-hmm. So, like, just understanding that just really put a different battery in my back. And, like, don't get me wrong, coming out of South Jersey, it's like, it's very little to no opportunity. Yeah. So it's like, if you got a lifeline to do anything or branch out, I would say, do it. My first time going to LA, I was supposed to go for a week. Ended up being 9 months. Just out there, just...
How'd that turn out? How did it turn from 1 week to 9 months?
I mean, just like my homie at the time, he was out there. He's like, yo, you want to stay a little longer? Because I went out there with some friends, and we was like just shooting like content, whatever. It's Happy Me in LA, whatever, some studio stuff. And I was coming out of pocket for everything, like studio time, all that. So it's like, damn, man, this is a little pricey. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know. But my homie was just like, yo, just come stay with me, man, and we can rock. And then that just translated into going to sessions with him and just like literally just coming across damn near everybody. And I didn't even realize, like, to the level, like, obviously I knew like he was doing things at a big level, but just like being in the presence of certain individuals, it's like, damn, bro, like, this is your life every day. You wake up and go to the studio every day, like, yo, like, I want that life.
Yeah. So who are some of the people who you've come across that's like, wow, this is really my life. Like, I'm really sitting here in the studio working with this person or that person.
Shit, I've been in the studio with her, Mary J. Blige, with what's the boy from One Direction?
Harry Styles?
I forget his name. Not Harry Styles. It was the other. I forget his name. Forgive me, but like I was in there with Hit Boy and my guy Camper at the time, and just like Martian Ambrosius, just like a lot of cross paths with Stevie Wonder, Jessie J, Brandy, Daniel Caesar, like French Montana, just a bunch of people who, like, the songs may never come out, but it's like I've been in the room with these people and got to listen and put my input. So it's like, damn, like coming from where I'm from, it's like it really just made all the difference. Even like when Drake was on the Summer 16 tour and just being backstage and he walked out and he just came through, dapped me up, dapped everybody up. It's like, damn, like this man could have just walked past me. Like I was nothing, but I'm getting acknowledgement from certain people, which is like very fulfilling. It just made me realize, like, yo, if you just went a little bit harder and you just change your approach to certain things, you can be there one day. But like I said, discipline is a big thing, because while niggas was out partying and the girls smoking, drinking and all that, I was like, you know, I got to refrain from that and just realize, like, yo, what I'm going to do to get to the next level. Even when I was in South Jersey, I was working a job and all that. So it's like I was going to work and then coming back, like, yo, I'm going to shoot to LA for a week and all that stuff. So it's like really just putting your pride to the side and just buckling down, because a lot of people hold themselves back because they're too prideful. Like, I don't want to show people I work a regular job, or I'm living with my mom or my parents, or I drive a bucket car. It's like, yo, whatever you got to do to get it, you got to do it, because the same one you see on the way up or the same one you see on the way down. And it was like people doubted me, laughed at me, thought, man, he doing this shit and he ain't going to do nothing. But now it's like I'm on top of the world in my mind. Now. Like everything I ever dreamed about, like I'm really living right now.
And it's not even over. That's the crazy part, right?
Right, and I feel like I'm just getting started. Yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm just getting started, so it's like...
And you named all those people, and you just getting started. Like, you still super young, got all this talent, you know, so much more to give.
Right.
And it's like, you already here, and it's like, you about to be... So, I don't know. Look, I come in here, I come to Atlanta, and I'm like... Charles, you about to be here, and I just met you, but yeah, I believe it, I feel it, and I understand it, especially when you talk about like the discipline, and it's like put your head down. Like everybody's going through something, everybody is going through something, so it's like, but how bad do you want it, you know?
Right, and even like being here in Atlanta, like this is like one of the major party cities like in America, period. Yeah. Like during the pandemic, Atlanta didn't shut down.
Yeah.
Like. It was still popping, so it was just like, for me to have a discipline here, like I'm literally in the studio every day, like literally every day. Like it's rare occasions I might go out for like an album release, or like if somebody I know is doing something, an event I get invited to every now and then. But I'm literally in the studio like every day, even when I'm tired, in a bad mood, I just come in here and just let my mind just be free and just whatever we got going on, just create.
Right. So what's the end goal? Like, do you have one? Did you expect to be where you are now? And if so, it's like, where do you see yourself?
I mean, I've always known that, you know, I can do great things if I just, you know, take the proper protocol to do it. Didn't expect it to be to this extent, honestly. Like, looking back and seeing where I am now. But now that I'm here, it's like, oh, man, anything's possible at this point. I mean, so, but the end goal, I mean, you know, the Grammys and all that's cool, but just really to make an impact and really curate a sound that, you know, isn't as prevalent as now. Because I feel like sonically the game has changed a lot. Where like you're not really feeling the music no more, man. So it's like I want to be one of those individuals that's like, yo, like he made you feel it. Pause. It's like he made you whatever feelings he was trying to correlate. Like you press play, you feel those emotions running through your body. You feel those vibrations. Because I feel like everything is just so microwavable right now. That like it's a select few people in the game that are really trying to keep that feeling alive, but I feel like it's kind of been lost. So I want to be one of those people who kind of just brought it to the forefront and preach that, and you know, practice what I preached, and I press play, you hear it. So how
do you keep that? Like what's the process? Like
I listen to a lot of like old music.
Like what?
Like from the Delphonics to like Michael Jackson, which is super cliche, but like a lot of Quincy Jones stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like you gotta understand where music came from to see where it's at now and how you can kind of maintain a level of just a level of musicianship where like people can really feel it. Because with FL and all these programs and arcade and Splice, people are just taking sounds and just, which is cool. It works for some people. And like the younger generation, they don't really take the time to dig back to realize, yo, like, oh, this kicker 808 came from this 20, 30 years ago.
That's right.
And they just modified it. Or where this synth or this sound came from. So it was just like really appreciating like the times where everything developed and is going back and kind of incorporating that in my style now.
That's good. That's great. So you are still an artist. You're an artist. So you've kind of like made your way into the industry from like songwriting.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, but you're also an artist.
Yeah, I feel like
so
all creators
was that your
artists.
start? Like rapping?
I mean, like I used to like rap and stuff. Yeah, that's how like me and Dilemma linked up.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out Dilemma, the big bro, and I appreciate him so much because he was working at Sigma Sounds at the time in Philly. And if you're familiar with what's going on, Sigma Sound was like a legendary studio before it closed down. But I was a college kid, just trying to figure it out. And he was like, yo, he was willing to work with us at a discount rate and everything. So I feel like for him at the time to do that was just like, damn, bro, like either you just wanted some extra bread or you saw the talent in me. And I feel like it was a talent thing. Sometimes when you had the money, he was like, you cool, bro, shoot me X, Y, Z. I'm like, all right, bro, appreciate it. So Dilemma, you watching this, thank you, bro.
I'm sure he's gonna watch it. He's a good dude.
Oh, absolutely.
Shout out to Dilemma. He's the one who said, "Hey, you going to Atlanta? All right, you need to sit down with him."
Yeah.
So I don't think it was about the bread. I don't think it was about none of
never.
that. He saw
absolutely.
something in you.
Absolutely.
So that's really, really cool, and he's doing his thing too. So
absolutely.
It's really cool that I got to connect with him. He connected me with you, and it's just gonna keep going. So
absolutely.
That's really great. So as far as songwriting, you made your way. What would you say was like your best experience as far as like kind of making your way into the industry? As far as what was your best moment? Because you mentioned so many people, Brandy, Stevie Wonder, like.
It's kind of hard to say because I feel like my best moments are still yet to come.
Okay.
So it's like. Everything I've done to this point, people I've come across and just felt the energy, whatever way it was received, it was just like this confirmation for me, just knowing like, yo, like people you grew up like listening to or seeing on TV or hearing about or just interested in, now you're crossing paths with these people. So now that I'm at a position where I'm at now, it's like, okay, it's really taking that and kind of throwing my influence in the mix with these people to help them create the best music possible. So I really feel like you said earlier, I feel like I'm just getting started for real. And it's just like chapter 1 is never the same as chapter 20.
No.
But it's like, it all depends what type of book you write. So I feel like I'm trying to write an encyclopedia at this point. Or like I'm just trying to just keep everything rolling, man. Because one thing I've realized and noticed too, it's like I can't get complacent. Because everybody I know or seen that's gotten complacent, they fell off like bad. Mm-hmm. And I know that like everything, like it's about runs. Everybody goes on a run to XYZ, but like if I can just remain consistent, my run can go 10, 15, 20 years. Outside of just writing this production or executive producing or just hopping in the A&R space. Because I mean, I do want to hop in an executive role probably next like 3 to 5 years at some point where I can still be creative, but I can still help kind of push the needle for like signing artists or putting certain things together. Because I feel like now, like, and no shade to nobody, but a lot of A&Rs and executives in the game, they're not really, well, some, but not all, just they're stuck in a certain like mentality and mindset. And it's like if you don't necessarily understand what it is to be a creative or that mindset or that grind or just like what that entails, it's kind of hard to navigate these records for people because it's like, yo, if you understand the music fully from top to bottom, then it's like I feel like that just makes better for when you're making decisions in those big boardrooms or when it comes to putting albums together or putting certain creatives together to create a certain sound or a project for somebody. I feel like all that matters, and I feel like it's kind of been lost in the game where it's all about, yo, how many views they got? How many followers? They popping on TikTok? Like, all that's cool, but it's like, when it comes to, you know, building artists and things like that, I just feel like that's kind of taking over what really should be looked at first, which is the talent, number one. The ability to create and perform, number two, which a lot of artists nowadays don't have because they've kind of just been like, I don't know, it's kind of just been like certain morals of things have kind of been like washed away because of the internet and social media. Right, so I feel like if we really got back to the, yo, you going out and you scouting talent, you traveling to open mics and all that type stuff like around the country, especially in Atlanta, it's a hub. I've come across so many talented people here who like don't have any deals or don't have a situation, just trying to figure it out. So I feel like if the executive and A&R took it back kind of to that perspective with certain things, I feel like that would really set a precedent in the game and like really help the future.
So you think you being a creative and you being where you are now and actually working with these artists, you think in the next like 3 to 5 years, you'll be able to be in a position where you're like, no, let's take it back and let's really focus on like the talent.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of, in a sense, doing it now. I mean, at a smaller scale, but I'm able just to pinpoint certain like producers, artists, songwriters, whatever, and just trying to pour into them so like I can just help the situation no matter how big or small, whether it's just coming to the studio, you know, I got some beats, so let's do some ideas. It's just like, just kind of just hitting the ground running. So I feel like a lot of people are just lazy now, man. Like, no shade to nobody, but it's like you can't expect a hit record if you're not willing to if you're not willing to lay a foundation down for it. Like these A&Rs and it's like, yo, man, send me a hit. I need this and need that. But it's like music is a feeling. You got to put people in the room. People got to feel the energy. Talk about how they day went. Yo, man, how you feeling? Like, all that matters, man, when you're creating, man. So it's just like I kind of just preach that where like I just want to keep it as authentic as possible. And taking that approach and route has led to me being successful now with particular records and particular like artists and creatives. So I'm gonna stand on that till the day God decides to call me home.
So when you talked about like working a regular job and like a 9 to 5, but you still like, instead of going out and partying, drinking and smoking, you was working after you were working, you know, and staying disciplined. What kept you going?
Just knowing that I just don't want to be a regular dude. Like, especially like being like from South Jersey, it's like, this ain't no shade to nobody, but people really just become content with a regular lifestyle. And it's like, majority of my homies, like they got kids, they work, they go home. And it's just like, yo, that ain't what I want to do. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah. And it's like, yeah, just pretty much being inspired by my surroundings to the point where it's like, yo, I don't want to end up here. Like, I can't stay here. Like, either if I do, I'm going to end up in a situation where I shouldn't be in because it just, like, it's nothing to do. So, like, you turn to certain things. So it was just like, yeah, just not want to be regular and just kind of, you know, want to be that person that they can look at and be like, damn, yo, like, he really got it from the bottom. He really, like, if he can do it, anybody can do it. And just being that source of inspiration, man. But I had to keep myself inspired first and foremost to even do anything. So just realizing like where I've been and where I don't want to be and where I want to go. And I feel like a lot of people don't really have that honest moment with themselves. They kind of let their circumstances like define them, and it's kind of like, nah, you gotta take control of your life, man. You only get one life.
I feel like people they don't want it as bad as they say they do.
Oh yeah, they don't.
Yeah, and they make excuses because they don't want it as bad, or they're really fearful of what they could be if they really like just went for it.
Yeah, or like, oh, what my friends gonna think, of my parents, or my homies, or my girl, or whatever. It's like, yo, like, end of the day, you came in this world alone, you're gonna die alone. So it's like, if people can't get jiggy with you trying to do to better yourself, then you don't need them in your life.
That's right.
And it's like, it's people who I thought like, damn, yo, like, we gonna rock out to we old and gray, like Eddie Murphy and Martin in Life type shit. You know what I mean? But once you grow to realize that your progression doesn't function at the same rate that everybody else's, it makes you realize like, damn, like, you gotta just keep it pushing. Like, my main thing's been like, yo, don't hate on nobody, don't wait on nobody. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't need to hate because I know I'm capable of doing the same things. But I know I gotta wait until it's my time to embark on those things and put my foot on the throttle. So, you know, that's what I'm living by. And it's been doing me pretty good thus far. It's
been doing you good.
Yeah,
That's a good quote to live by. And just to go back to what you said as far as, you know, just people and just being you like, I don't want to be regular. It's so many people that's just content with just being regular.
Oh, man,
you know, they don't have it inside of them.
It's crazy.
And it's okay. Like, some people it's just
and that's
not
fine.
in them.
Like, that's fine.
Right.
Like,
they want to, you know, work their job and go home and maybe take a couple vacations during the year and get their family.
Go to the bar and all that shit. That's cool. Go to the local bar
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, this shit that just don't move me.
So, yeah. So, I completely understand where you're coming from as far as that. So, I think it's that feeling. Not everybody has it. That it's just going to poke at you until you move. You get on it and you do it until you make something happen.
And it's crazy because those people, like, they just don't understand. Like, oh, you on another flight? Where you going now? Are you doing this? Oh, yo, we turning up for such and such birthday. You want to come out? Go to the casino? We at the club? Like, all right, cool.
You want to get a section?
Yeah, right. Half the time they don't get a section. They stand around the bar looking hella regular. So it's like, I'm not doing that. Like, no, I'm good. I'm going to listen to these beats and I'm going to do what I do, man.
Right. Yeah. So in a previous interview I've done with Dilemma, so coincidentally, he's pretty much like, as you move up and you move forward, right? It's like, oh, I just want to get to the playoffs. Say we're talking about basketball. I just want to get to the playoffs, right? And then you get to the playoffs. Now I want to win a chip.
Right.
There's always more and more and more and more. So you've been Grammy nominated. You went #1 on Billboard, right?
With Brandy and Dave.
So, So you've gotten like these really cool successes. Like, what's more? What would be more for you?
I mean, really, a couple of Grammys will be dope. I mean, that's what's next. I don't want to like base my whole being on that, but it's just like kind of just being recognized for what I got going on, you know. So just like, you know, new levels, new devils, man. So I know like it's going to require a different version of me. Every sector I'm moving up in life, but I know I understand what it takes to really like push through and like to be on a certain level. So it's like it's kind of just doing everything I've been doing, but just better. Really taking my time with the music and just formulating. Just cultivating just dope stuff, man. Stuff that'll stick, things that'll move artists and people hear it. It just translates. But I mean, the awards and all that's good, but like, it was dope being nominated for a Grammy and all that. But now it's like, all right, I need to win one.
See? Yep.
Need to win a couple.
Made it to the playoffs. Now we need the chip.
Right.
Like, we need, yeah, let's go.
Right. And like once like you reach a certain status or you got money or whatever the case may be, it's all about just like the art. Like you can take away every dollar in my bank account and I'm gonna still be as creative. I'm gonna still love the art just as much as I did when I was broke. Now that I'm financially stable, it's just like, it's all about the music for me, man. It's about the art. It's about the process. I just love it. Like you can sit me anywhere in the world. You can sit me in a dungeon as long as I got some headphones, a laptop, and a MIDI keyboard. I'm Gucci.
You gonna make it work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make it shake. That's
right.
good. That's good. So this is your platform as far as like, you write, you produce, you make it work, you maneuver your way into these rooms and you've connected with these amazing artists and people, you know, but how would you define your true purpose?
I feel like my true purpose is being a vessel in the sense where like I'm able to take my situation and help people who I believe in and trust and feel like are deserving of it. Not saying everybody's not deserving of help, but I just feel like in my space now, I realize like in my position, like what my influence and what my network can do for somebody, as I've seen it happen time and time again. And I'm not the type of dude that is like, yo, I need this, yo, I need 10 bands, I need this gratification. Nah, it's like knowing that I'm able to help somebody and they realize my influence on their situation, that's what keeps me going. But it's just like, end of the day, it's like, you can have everything in the world, but if you're not like useful to people and to your environment to help situations grow, then it's kind of like, what's the point of having all this if you can't help people? So my biggest thing is just being that vessel for my friends, for creatives, for anybody who I'm in alignment with, just being that vessel where I can just help people, and I get the most joy out of that, honestly.
It's good. It's good. So what's next? What's happening next? I know. Next? I mean, it's a lot going on. 2 weeks ago, you just signed, you know, and
it's got some big things brewing up. I'm not the type to let the cat out the bag.
I like that.
But it's like,
I like that.
In the next couple months, you definitely going. Yeah, it's about to get real.
All right, well, you heard it here first. Something's happening. Tell me off camera, okay? I know how to keep a secret. My sister know. So we good, yeah. But that's good. I'm really excited for you.
Thank you.
I know things are gonna. I love when I see what discipline and hard work and focus does.
Right,
you know,
yeah.
Of course you have to have the talent, things like that. But when you're disciplined, you focus and you're fearless and you go after it, it's like sky's the limit.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's just really good to see. So I would like to ask you.
Yes.
Because I'm Jalen Jewel, right? And this is the whole essence of why we're here. There's so many people that are watching you that you don't even know that are watching you.
Right, and I've realized that as of late too. So
oh yeah? How so?
Just from like how people interact with me on like social media or just like certain like influential executives or people that just like shoot me a text or hit me like, yo man, like I love what you're doing, keep it up. You're rooting for you. I see you. Just those small things, like, damn, out of everybody in the world, you chose to hit me up and just like give me that gratification, that pat on the back, which I don't need, but it's definitely appreciated because people don't understand like how hard you work. Like I've literally the past like 7 years of my life like dedicated my whole life to music, bro. Like haven't seen family, haven't gone to family functions, missed birthdays, all types of things. Like I just really kind of set aside because I knew what I wanted to do. And it hurt. It was painful. People looking at me crazy like, oh man, you changed, or yo, how come you don't? But like when you hit a certain point in life, that realization is like, yo, like I gotta do this. Cause I ain't trying to be 40, 50 years old. Like, damn, yo, when I was 30, I could have did this and had the opportunity to do it. So it's like, sometimes you gotta bite that bullet, but I feel like the reward, the risk is worth the reward. I mean, so I just felt like, you know, if I wouldn't have took on that mentality a couple years back and just kind of pushed myself forward today, then I wouldn't be here. I'll be back at the crib, probably either laid up, working a job, just not happy. I mean, like, you know, so.
And the thing about people like you is that it's a fire, right? And it burns and it burns, and it's like a kind of like a voice in your head. It's like,
Absolutely.
what you gonna do? This is your life? This is all you got? And it'll just bug you for the rest of your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Until you die. You could, you know, work a regular job. You could get a wife. You could have some kids, get a house. You know what I mean? But would you really be happy?
Right.
Would you really be fulfilled? You know?
Right.
So.
And I've really been, like, as of late, just really been analyzing, like, my life and, like, things I want to do. And it's like, you know, everybody wants the kids, wants the family, but if I got a couple million in the bank to provide for that family and show my family and kids and my significant other, like, yo, like, we can really live like this if we do this. It's like, nowadays, everybody wants to tell you what to do or how to live, but it's like, motherfucker, you ain't there, bro.
You don't even got it.
Right.
How you gonna tell me
Right.
how I'm supposed to live and you ain't even do it?
Right. Like, how you gonna tell me to do this or make a song like this? But, bro, you have no hits, you have no nothing. So it's just like, I take heed what people say for sure. And if it's beneficial to what I got going on, I'll definitely implement it. But it's like, until you walked in my shoes, bro, like, I appreciate the advice, but maybe you should save it for yourself.
Yeah. God placed you here for a reason.
No, absolutely. And
Yeah.
like, even like
Could've
me
been
being
anybody else, it's you.
even like me being at Tree Sound is just like, I'm not from Atlanta. So like the fact I've, you know, maneuvered myself to even be somewhere like this and to do what I do and, you know, have the network and connections, it's just like, it just goes to show like, it ain't where you from, it's where you at. And how you interact with people and how they read you and how they, you know, reciprocate you at the end of the day. So like your energy is everything. So I just feel like going from Jersey to LA to here, I feel like I've prospered everywhere I've been just from being me. Not having to ride no coattails, not having to just, I step in a room, I'm like, damn, who is he? But it's like, once we chop it up and I let you know what's going on, hit play, whatever, you're like, oh wow, okay, I get it. So, you know, it's not about being the loudest, it's about just being the most like resourceful and being an asset versus a liability. I mean, you could be, it's people that sometimes come in the studio and they on their phone, they Instagram and then taking flicks, was like, bro, you didn't contribute anything to the record.
Yeah.
So it's like,
They doing it for the likes
Right.
and the approval of others.
exactly. And it's like, yo, what's cool? You in the room, you know somebody, we chop it up, you catch a vibe, cool. But it's the difference between actually contributing and actually being around it. So it's like me being able to be out in LA in these certain places when I was first really got my foot in the door, being around it just was never enough for me. I had to be like, yo, how can I find a way to like impact, be an asset, like help curate a vibe, help be a part of it. I mean, so I feel like if people really took that approach and really learn how to read a room, that can really take you places in your career that just sitting back on your phone wouldn't. You know what I mean? So that's as basic in layman terms I can explain it for people out there to get it. But it's like, yeah, man, you know, you gotta learn how to read a room and just really insert yourself without being too hasty with it.
Right.
I mean, because some people, it's either they doing too much or they doing too little. So just finding that fine line, not being too high, not being too low, just really, you know, inserting yourself in a way where people want you around.
Okay. So this is the point where I asked you to drop a jewel, but obviously you've been dropping in jewels since you started talking.
Right.
And I want you to drop a jewel for those people who are currently where you were before you moved to LA or to Atlanta, or people who have that fire within them, or they have that voice in their head that just won't shut up. You know, it can't sleep. Or people that's, you know, surrounded by the wrong people that's telling them, come on, let's drink, let's smoke, let's go out to the club. But they have something else within them that's like greater, you know what I mean?
Right.
So drop a jewel for them.
You know, kind of like what I said earlier, like patience, discipline. Thing about patience is while you're waiting, you don't understand what's happening because you're in the process of trying to make it work, which can be frustrating at times. Your counterparts are people around you who don't understand or know like what you're thinking mentally or what's inside of you. Like they might not understand it, so you might catch some flack or backlash, and that might kind of deter you. Because if you don't have a support system, it's hard, man. Like even with me doing music, like starting out, I didn't have the greatest support system, but I always knew like, yo, like if I just take my time, like I'll figure it out along the way. But you gotta put the work in. they say you can't consider yourself a professional unless you put in 10,000 hours of work. So it's like
The Outliers. You read that book?
No, I haven't, but I feel like I need to since you just mentioned it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite books.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely get into that.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like you got to put in 10,000 hours in whatever you're doing to consider yourself a professional or be at a certain level. And it's been hours where I was dolo by myself back in my mom's crib on the couch for like, she's like, boy, you still up 5 a.m. with your headphones on? Don't you got to be at work in 2 hours? Like, yeah, but I've been listening to this beat for the past 5 hours trying to think of a hook. So just like patience, number one, is like, yo, you got to be patient because you never know when your time's gonna come. But they say if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So it's like that's first and foremost as a creative because you can be at your crib or somewhere one day and then you get an opportunity to be in a room with somebody and then that one track or that one idea you've had for the past 2, 3, 4 years, you play it and somebody might love it and that can change your life. And one thing about music too is like what's old to you is new to somebody else.
Oh yeah.
Like I probably got songs and beats in my computer or on my email that's been sitting a couple years and it's like, man, I made something way better than this, I'm good. But I might play it for somebody and it's the first time they hear it, they might just absolutely love it.
I love it, yeah.
So it's like never doubt yourself to the point where you don't want to express your creativity because that can really hinder you because how you're thinking and your mindset can be totally opposite than somebody else. Like it's been, for example, it's been sessions where like I've been in, had some ideas and I just might have had a shitty day. But the artist or the creative or the other writer's having a great day. And they hear that, like, yo, you know what, this inspired me because I had eggs and some grapes this morning. And this beat or this idea reminded me of that. So let's take that. It's like, oh, whatever works.
Let's do it, yeah.
So I would say patience and persistence, man. It's like you got to be persistent in everything you're doing because it's like you can't let up. Like you got to be consistent as well. Like consistency always wins. Like Kobe was waking up 4 a.m. every day, no matter how late he was out, and he was putting in that work.
That's right.
And it's crazy, man. Like the day that he passed was the day of the Grammys where I got nominated. And I was in LA, and when I tell you that morning was probably the weirdest morning I've ever experienced in LA because it was just so foggy and gloomy. So like, and then when we got the news, it was just like, damn, I didn't even go to the Grammys.
Yeah.
Like I was like, yo,
it was
there.
weird. That was a weird day. Like
it was super weird.
What day was that? Was it?
January
it was definitely 6th. So it was the day before your birthday. Yep. So yeah, I remember that. Yep. So it's been like 3 years.
Yeah.
Since that, yeah, it was a weird time.
A weird day.
Yeah.
And it just made me realize, like, damn, yo, like one of the greatest days of my life, on top of a birthday and like being nominated for a Grammy, which I never thought I would ever be a part of a record that would be nominated for anything to that magnitude. It's like, yo, Kobe and his daughter and other people tragically passed away. So it goes to show, like, in life, like, it's really a yin and yang. It's like, you got your ups and you got your downs. Like, even, like, being here, like, in America, like, how we live, we just take so much for granted in life, man. We're, like, I visited other countries where, like, people are still barefoot in the street trying to figure it out. Right. So I'm just, like, just grateful for life, grateful to do what I do every day. I can wake up and make music every day without worrying about to pay my bills or X, Y, Z. So like, just don't take life for granted because you never know when that moment's going to come that can change your life. So I feel like just be grateful, be consistent, be persistent, and really, no idea is a bad idea. I mean, if you're able to wake up and create, that's a blessing because there's people out here who can't even walk, can't talk, blind, can't express themselves. So it's like, you really got to just take life and really, you know, just grab it by the horns and really just do what it is you want to do. What you set out to do because everybody think you crazy. Why you trying to figure it out? But boy, once you figure it out, you the best thing since sliced bread. Yo, bro, I always believed, dog, man. I love you. And it's like, okay, but
I always knew you could do it.
Right.
I always knew you could do it. Boy.
But you didn't want to help. But you always knew, right? So you know, so
probably talking about you when you in the crib doing beats till 5 a.m., 4 a.m. They're like, oh, he whatever. No, you did it. Yeah, that's how it be. It's okay.
And really, too, it's like I'm experiencing now, like a lot of people are trying to figure out how to like reapproach me now.
How's that? Tell me. Give me an example of like how's that been?
Just
I need to know.
It's just weird. Like, all right, so like say like, I ain't gonna say no names, but like a producer or a songwriter who like when I was first coming up, oh yeah, man, okay, yeah. But now it's like, yo, bro, what's your number? What's your email? Can you do some joints? Yo, pull up. Where you at? Yo, oh, you at Tree Sound. Yo, let me pull up. I'm trying to work. It's like, okay, you want to work, but it's like, you're depending on me for the work now.
That's right.
So it's like, I'm cognizant of my space and who I have around, because you could be in a room with me and you might catch a percentage on the placement just by you giving a word or you got a sound or just contributing some certain way. And I'm very like fair when it comes to that publishing, because it's like, I learned from my brother Prince Charles, like when I was first starting out and he gave me that shot, he was open and fair with me. So he was like, yo, if you're in the room, it's a reason why. So let's not worry about percentages and XYZ. Let's just create the best shit possible and give it to the world so they can take it and enjoy it. So I've kind of really taken that approach. So like if I let you in my space while I'm creating, that means I really rock with you. So that's why I'm very like close knit to certain individuals, and like my phone never stops going off. Right. And I be feeling bad because like, not that I be curbing people, but it's like, yo, it's like I have so much to do, and it's like I don't got no time to really hang out and chill right now.
That's right. Because
my time is literally money. So it's just like, and not saying in a sense where like it's a materialistic aspect. It's just like, yo, like, okay, if I'm here doing this, then it's got to be for a greater purpose. I'm just extremely intentional.
Yeah. You're valuable. You're intentional. Right. You're purposeful, like with everything that you're doing.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So I just really keep that in mind every day waking up. Like, yo, like, man, you got to be super intentional and just mind the company you keep, because the people around you either make you or break you. And I've learned that the hard way. Like, I started out with people who I thought like, damn, yo, we rock until the wheels fall off. And then once money and success and certain things came into the fold, it's like all that shit just went out the window. And that like kind of hurt me in a sense where it's like, yo, damn, bro, I thought we was better than that. Like I said, I ain't saying no names or nothing, but it's just like that pain kind of pushed me to really be the best version of myself. Because like, it's one thing like being around the sauce, but when you know like you contributed to the sauce and certain people try to take that away from you, it's like, okay, cool, but let me try my own recipe where the ingredients are appreciated and see where that goes. And then now it's like I took that logic and now it's like I'm blossoming to the point where I never thought in a million years I'd be at today.
That's right.
So it's like, yeah, it's like I'm still humble with it because I know where I came from, but it's just like knowing that my presence and what I got going on and what I've done and doing really is affecting the world in a good way and really translating is like all the joy in the world to me. That's all the money or gratification I need at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like certain people, they could have been in your life since you were a kid, right? Childhood friends, high school friends, college friends.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes you feel like a sense of like loyalty, like I know them for this amount of years. They've been with me through this or that. But when they gotta go, they gotta go. Because they no longer are serving in your life the way that they need to, and you're not serving them. You know what I mean? So it's like, where I'm going, you can't go with me.
Right.
You can't go with me. So
and loyalty, like you said, like
that loyalty, man. That loyalty do something to you.
That word is so misconstrued nowadays.
That's right.
Because like, what is your definition of loyalty? Is it like when I'm dead broke, you still gonna ride it out?
Yeah.
Or like when you know I'm up, you're gonna try to cater to anything I need so you can remain in my space. It's definitions of it. And what I've learned just from my personal experience, that loyalty don't really hold that much weight unless you really test a person's character and see like what their true intentions for you.
That's right.
So I've had people that told me, yo man, you my brother, we XYZ, great moments, yeah, we loyal then. But then when it comes to like making sure like, yo, I'm taken care of after I help you, and you disregard that, then it's like, damn, like, so that's what loyalty is to you? So I just feel like, you know, you got to really take heed of people using that word, because it's like, and even in the industry, bro, it's like there's no loyalty in this industry.
I was just going to ask you, like, how trustful can you be in this industry?
Man, listen, people are loyal to you when you got that beat they want.
Oh, yeah.
Or you about to write this song that they desperately need because they can't do it themselves. Yeah, right. Yeah, they loyal in that moment. But, like, once they get what they want, it's back to their own agenda, which is nothing wrong with it, but I've learned to really not give myself to that point with certain artists or creatives. I know, like, yo, bro, it's just a play. It's a moment. So, like, once you understand that, too, it helps me in a better mental space where, you know what? While we're here for these 8 hours, yeah, I'm going to give you the best of me in this song, whether it's producing, writing, help curate a vibe. But then after it's done, it's done. You don't need to text me afterwards. You don't need to hang out. You don't need to get no food. Because I know it's not authentic. So it's like, if people were more straightforward, I feel like that would just make the world such a better place.
Yeah, like, hey, this is what I'm willing to contribute.
Right.
This is what I can do for you. This is what I would like from you. Like, how can we work together type of thing. Yeah. It's not like that.
It's not like that. Because I've had some of the biggest and greatest artists in the world just at the time we working, show me all the love, posting me on socials. We going out to dinners. We in black trucks. We had parties, hotels, all this shit. And it was great. But once they got what they wanted out of me, it was like, all right, cool, thanks. So like just learning that lesson too was just like really just shifting my whole gears and mentality where it's like, there's certain ones where you can pour yourself into and really go the extra mile, but other people it's like, yo, like no love lost. We're here to do a job. I'm gonna do my job at the highest level, but it's a business.
1 sec.
And then a lot of people, what they don't realize too is like, this shit is a business. So excuse me for cursing, but it's like, this is a business. So it's like, you got to realize, like, outside of you creating and keying with people and posting on social media,
something went wrong.
It's a business.
Please try again.
And you got a job to do. Oh, that's my phone. Okay.
Siri heard.
Right.
Siri trying to figure it out.
Right. She's trying to figure it out. But it's like, well, you got to realize that, yo, it's a business first. And once you realize that, then like everything goes to fall into place. But I feel like a lot of people get lost in the sauce because they don't realize it's a business. They just think, oh, I'm just pulling up to the studio and I'm going to create or catch a vibe. But now you got to handle your business. And a lot of creatives lose out on percentages or placements or XYZ because their business wasn't in order. Like all creatives, if you're at a certain level and you're really trying to get in the game, get an attorney. Because like it was big records that I was a part of, but I had no attorney, so we had to double back. And they tried to lead me off or short me on percentages, XYZ, because they knew I didn't have like any type of legal representation. Because it was like, yo, you my man, so my manager take care for us. But really, their people in position for them were just making sure that they were good, and then everybody else just had to kind of fall in line. It's like, okay, yeah, we'll give you 2% on that, or XYZ. It's like, nah.
You put in all these hours,
right?
All this work, all your talent,
right?
Wrote these hooks. Like
I got receipts. Like I was on the same flights as y'all going to these places in the same spaces. So it was like, you know, and that's the one thing I hate about the industry is that like people will really use you up for all your creativity, but then when it comes down to the business, they just try to shit on you. And so it's like going through that. It's like, yo, I want to make sure that when people are working with me, they know it's a safe space and like everybody's going to get their just due. And I feel like that's going to really just carry me along the way, just doing great business and being a good vibe with people. Because I feel like a lot of people just take that for granted, and that really does, it does like, it has an impact on the trajectory of your career and what people want to do with you moving forward in the future, man. So like just be a great person and do great business, and I feel like everything else will work itself out.
Yeah, fall into place. All right, well, Sir Charles, where can they find you? On everywhere, like.
I really just be on Instagram.
Instagram,
so
okay.
At Sir Charles 1. I mean, but honestly, I'm getting to a point where after this year, these plays we got in motion, I'm about to just be ghost off social media.
You gonna be on some Jay-Z shit,
so the only time niggas gonna really be able to get to me is through an interview when I choose to pop out. So that's what I'm working towards because right. Because it's just like, man, the social media stuff is cool, but I thrive off, yo, like I can log off this app and I can actually make a phone call or text to somebody and be like, yo, we got this going on, what's up? We doing this, what's good? So, you know, I really thrive on having real relationships in this industry versus XYZ follows me, let me DM them. Like, nah, I don't really get down with all that. So I thrive off just being authentic, man, and having real connections. At the end of the day, like somebody can like your picture, that don't mean they're gonna support you.
That's right.
You can post a picture, that don't mean they're gonna buy your album or buy your single or stream it. So, you know, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. So my biggest thing has been through my learning experience to make sure that everything around me is solid. From myself to my foundation to my management to my connections, everything is solid. So I'm at that space now where I can do a triple axle on the ground I walk on and be absolutely Gucci. So I advise people to really utilize your resources. But I mean, G-check everything around you. Like, you got a manager? Okay, make sure your manager is holding up their end of the bargain. So when it's time to get that 15, 20%, that just due is they put in the work to actually receive that. Because even in the game too, like with managers and shit like that, it's like we ain't gonna get paid from the rip. Like even nowadays, like it's songs that I've done a year or two ago, still ain't get paid for. But I know when them checks come or when the royalties and all that gets put out, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be a handsome little check. So it's like you can't put the money first, because as a creative, like the money never comes first. And some advice that I've been given from my boy Prince Charles that Polo the Don told him a couple of days ago, where he was working on some stuff. He was like, yo, like, you got to find the creatives that are not in the greatest financial situation, that are kind of broke, that are kind of figured out, because that's when they're the most hungry.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, you come across folks that got the new whip, got XYZ, they come to the studio, they in the lounge, and they got shorties with them, they got entourage, cameraman taking cameras, things ain't even make a beat or put a lyric down, nothing. But it's like, I want to surround myself with people who are hungry, because I know when I was hungry like that, I was putting forth my best effort, and my pen game was crazy.
Crazy.
Because I knew everybody else eating lobster and steak, and I'm hitting the dollar menu low key. So it was just like, I'd rather have people like that around me creative wise, that I know, like, yo, if I can help you get to a certain level and put some bread in your pocket, but you will give me the best of you, no matter you fucked up, you up, you down, I'll take that all day over somebody who's, oh, I got 10 Grammys, I've done this, yo, all that's good, but it's your hunger there. Are you going to give me the same energy that you would give a Beyonce or a Justin Bieber or somebody who's up, who you're trying to reach? So I've learned that, like, the people who are the most hungry are the people who aren't in the best of situations, but you gotta nurture that energy and that hunger, because that person who comes to the studio one day to work with me, who's, yo, man, I got $10 left in my account, it's like they might give me the greatest song ever.
Oh yeah.
And then that might translate, right? And they want it. Like, these artists gotta want it.
It's not only that they want it,
they need it.
They need it. They like, this is it. This is all I got. Yeah. That's when it really comes into play. Yeah.
Right. And like I said earlier, like, being complacent is just the one space I never want to be in. And that's why even like having money and shit now, it's like I could have did the rollie, the bust down, and all that, but it's like, nah, I'm gonna stack this bread and find things to invest in.
That's right.
But also too, it's like I don't really want to put myself out there to be a target in the sense of, okay, he's doing this and that. Look at P&B Rock, God bless the dead.
Right.
And it's crazy because he was just here in Atlanta, here at Tree Sound, and we were listening to records and shit a couple days before he got killed. So like when that happened, it was just like, damn, that shit really just messed me up. Like, yo, like, I was just in the studio with bro, and it goes from that to like, he got killed because his car and his jewelry on.
What people saw.
What people saw, right. So it was like, to all my creators out there, like, be mindful, because there's people out here who are hungry that plot on us, that check your Instagram post or where you at, to check to see who's posting you, to check to see what you got on, what you driving, because it's filthy out here, man. So like, and that's kind of the downside about the industry too. It's like people just want to take instead of like giving and pouring into. So for everybody out there, please be conscious about your whereabouts, who you got around you, what you posting in the club, XYZ, because there's savages out here that are willing to take your life for your assets that really, at the end of the day, don't really mean anything or hold any real value when it comes to your life. I mean, so I'm really cognizant of that, and I really kind of just carry that mentality with me, because I'm around people who are millionaires and got money all the time, but we all dress cool. Like I come to the studio sweats every day, because I'm not coming here fresh for what? I'm working. I want to be comfortable while I'm working. So ain't nothing wrong with coming to the studio, jiggy, your ice on, all that's cool. But what I've experienced and what I know is kind of like, for me, that's not the blueprint for me to be successful and make the best music. You know what I mean? If I got to step out, that's one thing. But every day just working, being my best self, being me, like behind closed doors where there's no cameras, like, I'm going to just keep it how I always kept it. Because I feel like that's what works best for me. And I feel like anybody out there, if you feel like you got to alter your appearance or like the way you are, you carry yourself to be around anybody, then you don't need to be around them people, because that's not you. If you can be authentic, be your best version of yourself around people or situations, and maybe that's not the best version of you. I know people want to get a look or get it connected. Yo, I need to be around this person, But if they can't rock with you for being you, then it's kind of like, you know, maybe that's just not for you.
It's not for you. I mean, feel like you gotta change outside of who you are. That's right. Yeah. Well, I want to once again say that I'm super grateful. I'm so grateful.
Likewise.
And thank you for having me. Thank you for having the team here.
No, absolutely. Jersey, come on, man. We got
it's Jersey's. It's 609 out here.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, I take this, like, I'm really, really, really intentional about who I want, like, to talk to.
Right.
You know, it could be anybody. People would be like, oh, hey, I want to do an interview. It's like, no, not you. You know what I mean? No, not you. Not saying that I'm, like, super big or whatever, but, like, this is, I want to learn. I want to be a student, you know, even if we're not in the same specific, like, industries or doing the same things. Like, I want to learn how you got to where you were.
Right. I mean, it's quality over quantity, man.
Exactly. So, and, like, this is like a blessing to even just, you know, sit down and talk to you and connect with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just want to thank you once again. And this is really amazing. And I want to, you know, say thank you to Tree Sound Studios for, you know, having us. And yeah, thanks to the team and Crux Label and BG Visuals. And
hell of a job, guys. Y'all did a hell of a job. Super professional. Everything is clean. Courtesy birthday shots, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's your birthday. We're going to take some more shots when we end this. Right, but absolutely. Yeah. So shout out to Sir Charles. I can't wait to see everything that's like on the horizon. Everything you're going to do, I already know is going to be crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. So,
thank you.
Yeah, but this is another episode of The Jewel Effect, and we out. So, yeah.
What's going on to Sir Charles? You know, rocking with The Jewel Effect.